In this speech, I'm going to be going over the importance and the process of adopting an animal. When you adopt an animal, you save more money than you would if you went online to buy an animal, because buying online can be kind of expensive. Not only do you save money, but you help out the shelter more than likely when you adopt an animal, and you help out the animal by becoming its best friend. So today I'm going to be covering all that and going over with you why it is important to save an animal, and also go over the process. So if you think you want to adopt an animal, maybe this will help you out. So the first thing I want to cover when adopting an animal is the cost. So a lot of people think it can be really expensive to go get your new best friend, but in reality, it's nowhere near expensive. The most you probably have to pay is $150, maybe to $250 to adopt an animal, but in most places like shelters and my clinic where I work at charges $0. And even if you do have a charge, it most likely goes to the medical expenses for the animal. Let's say they have medication to be paid for, or they have to have IV fluids, or they're on a special medicated bath. What you pay will go to that animal before that animal is given to you to be taken home. And that's not even that bad, because it's not that high. Usually bringing them here costs more when you have to do those things. And medication can be kind of expensive. So when you adopt out an animal, the cost is lowered because you're adopting it out and you're just helping it. If you are charged, it also helps out with the Humane Fund, and the Humane Fund is just the fund we raise. It's like a fundraiser, and we raise the money for the animals that are at our shelter. Like right now at our shelter, we have 4 different animals that are here that are waiting to be adopted out. And when we are given money, like if an animal's being adopted and people give us money, then we put it with the Humane Fund, and that just raises money for food for the animals here, toys, taking them out to the park, treats, anything like that. If we're given money, it goes to them. The next thing that I want to go over is when you adopt an animal, you make a great friend. Not only, maybe you're alone, maybe you're not married, you don't have any kids, and you really just want somebody to keep you company. A cat or dog is one of the greatest things that you can bring home. They're fun, they're adventurous, no matter what age they are, you'll be saving them and they'll be saving you. I like to think of adopting as like a great thing for the world. It really opens up all these new opportunities for people to see. And we've adopted out so many animals, and we've had so much good feedback from the people who's adopted them. They'll come back and tell us that this is their greatest experience. They're so thankful for what we gave them and the animal that they got, because it just compares with them and they become a companion for life. And when you adopt an animal, like I said, you save a life and they save you, and it just helps out a whole lot with them. Because if they had to stay here their whole entire life, it just wouldn't be good for them. It's like babies. When you go to adopt a baby, it's the same thing. You're adopting an animal and you're just making a huge difference in this world. The next thing is that it helps shelters out tremendously. Not only if a shelter is filled and you go and you adopt an animal, it opens the kennel for another animal to come in, because every single day there is so many animals being killed in shelters. I know there are some no-kill shelters. Like here, we're a no-kill shelter, and if an animal's brought in and we don't have no room for it, we make room for it. Somebody can take it home and just keep it at their house, and for the meantime, while we're trying to adopt it out, we make ways so that way they don't have to be euthanized. 1.5 million animals are euthanized in 1 year, and that is just crazy ridiculous. So shelters, when they get so filled with animals, have no room for others. If you bring an animal in, they have no choice but to put an animal down to make room for another. So if you go and you adopt an animal, that opens room for another animal to come in without killing any of them. And that's awesome. I mean, there's no animal that should be put down because they don't have room to be in a shelter. I think that when you go out and you adopt an animal, you make room for other animals. So not only are you saving that animal's life, the animal's saving your life, but you're saving another animal's life you'll never even know of. And that's why it makes you a hero and why adopting is important. As for the process of adopting an animal, what you'll go through is pretty simple. You'll fill out an application, and the application just goes over why you want to adopt an animal, what type of animal you're looking for, whether it's a cat or dog, or other clinics have like pigs and birds and guinea pigs and all that, so you could pick those too. Here at my clinic, we make you fill out some paperwork, and then within 2 to 5 days, you'll hear back from us to have an interview. And what you'll do is you'll come, and if there's a specific animal you want to meet, we let you meet with them and spend as much time with you want with them before you decide on taking them home. But we also give you the opportunity to walk around and meet all the other animals. So if you come for a dog, you might be going home with a dog and a cat. The next thing that will go down is if you decide on an animal or two, you'll just, if you need time at home to think about it with your wife or your husband, then we give you time to do that. If you decide to take it home that day, we'll discuss. Sometimes we will let you, sometimes we really just have to give it a few days, and then we'll call you back in, and then you'll take the animal home with you. And most of the time we give you a crate to put them in as well. So as for the process, it's really simple and easy and worth it. All you have to do is fill out papers, come in, meet them, decide on your true companion, and then take them home if you really think it's worth it, and if you really find a true best friend. Like Dizzy. Sorry, he can run away sometimes. This is Dizzy. This is a kitty that came in about a month ago, and he has some neurological problems, and the people that actually brought him in was going to have him euthanized because they thought that he was dying. And the way he looked, I mean, we all thought he was too, but he got to eating for us and drinking, and he's actually perfectly fine. He is deaf and his head is tilted. Other than that, he is an absolute great kitty. He loves to cuddle, and he is currently looking for a home. He's such a sweet boy, and everybody here loves him. And we actually had somebody come yesterday to look at him, and as for the process, it didn't go out so well. So for an example, if you come to look at an animal and it doesn't work out, whether you have other animals and they don't get along with it, or you don't get along with it, or your kids don't, or your wife or husband, you can always bring them back, and that's still free of charge. You bring them back and we just take them in and try to find them another home. So the process is super simple, and like I said, totally worth it. Dizzy says so too. So after going over everything, it's just super simple to adopt a dog or adopt a cat. It's really important. You make a great best friend. It doesn't cost you. It helps out with the shelter. It helps out with the other animals. It's just, I can't explain it enough. It's important, and I hope this video helps more people adopt and open their eyes to adopting. And remember, there is plenty of options out there for you, and the process is super quick and you won't regret it. Plus, you get to meet a lot of amazing animals, and most of the time when people come to adopt, if they see an animal that they don't want, they go back and they tell their friends and their family, and then sometimes some people come back and they adopt out from hearing about the animal. So adoption is super important, and I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson.